I'm connecting to an energy of a masculine who is quite literally willing to do whatever it takes to get to you. This is someone who, one, has never done anything like this before for anyone that they've ever been with. And two, this is someone who it's like, I don't know, I'm picking up on a lot of desperation energy, or this just feels like someone who's in a position to maybe even lose you, or someone who, you know what it is? This is someone who's really used to being in a lot of control. They're used to controlling the situation, the outcome, the relationship, how the other person feels, how they react. It's like they're used to feminine energies quite literally chasing them, or, you know, begging them to stay, or it's like making the first move, even reaching out to them first. And so you've really thrown this person off by just being in your own energy. And also I'm hearing you have like a no nonsense rule in place. And so if this person even tries to come forward to you with some sort of like chaotic energy or confusion, you are just like, absolutely not. Like, your cutoff game is really strong, especially when it comes to this person. For some reason, I feel like you hold them to really high standards, and I'm just picking up that they haven't really met those standards. So let's dive into what it is you need to know at this time. This is a very specific message, so don't try to make it fit. If it doesn't, it's not going to be for everyone. However, if it resonates and it feels right, then this message is for you. So we do have the Ace of Swords. We do have the Ace of Swords. So this is a very powerful masculine energy coming through. This is someone, okay, it's really interesting because this is someone who moves through their life with intention. Like, everything this person does is with intention. And that's why it's really important for you to have this no nonsense rule in place, because if this person tries to come forward to you with anything other than pure or clear intention, no, you cut him off. It's not meant to be. With the Moon card followed by the Princess of Hearts on the bottom of the deck, I'm also hearing it's like the more you pull away from this person, the more you're going to hear from this person, the more that you're going to receive from this person as well. Now, you could consider that toxic, but with the Seven of Swords and the King of Hearts, you're not meant to like give into this person right now. For some reason, is what's coming through. Like, you're not meant to give your love to this person. They have to give their love to you. And I know that sounds really strange because divine union, you know, requires both parties to be a part of it. But with the Seven of Swords, it just feels like you've got your own stuff going on. Like, you could be in the middle of a move. You could be in the middle of just organizing your life or getting something together. With the King of Hearts, this is someone who's really ready to love. Like, this person is really ready to love. And so while you are in this Seven of Swords energy, this person, it's like they are in a position to come forward to you and offer everything that they are and offer you the love of your dreams, the love that you've always desired. And so if they don't, no nonsense rule. Put that into play. We do have the Three of Hearts coming out here. So we do have some karma at play. I do feel like you're very supported by feminine energy at this time, or maybe that's where your focus needs to be with the Eight of Wands, Five of Hearts, Princess of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Hi, Sosa. So we do have a little bit of lack energy here with the Seven of Pentacles and the Princess of Pentacles, or maybe you just haven't been yourself lately is what's coming through as well. Thank you, Sosa. With the Five of Hearts, this could have to do with a recent heartbreak, or this could just have to do with something not working out the way that you were hoping. But with the Eight of Wands, it feels like that working out, that situation or that relationship not working out is ultimately leading you to something better. Like, you're about to, it's like you kind of feel like you're at a loss right now. You could be at a loss for words, or just feeling like you're losing something. You could just have this overall general feeling of being lost, but you're actually about to receive it all with that Eight of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, High Priestess, the World, Prince of Hearts coming through. There's a new beginning here coming for you in love. Also a confirmation of love. You are going to be receiving a message from this person. They have an explanation for you is what's coming through. And with the Ace of Pentacles, regardless of that conversation, everything is playing out for you. Like, you are being guided into a greater love. You are being guided into greater purpose. And because of this greater purpose, because you are following the call, you naturally are meant to align with a greater love. Now, I really want you to keep in mind, and this is very specific, this love, Five of Pentacles, is all about this masculine energy giving to you. Like giving so much to you. I feel like this person needs to give to you. Like it's a requirement of this love connection. And so if that resonates with you, please take it and please take that message to heart, because you really need to allow this masculine energy to give more to you than you give to them. For some reason, that's just really important, because it allows you to be in your purpose, and it also allows this masculine energy to be in their purpose. With the King of Wands, loving you gives this masculine energy purpose.
My dear soul, before you leave, stay with me for just a moment longer. If these words stirred something deep inside your heart, if you felt even the slightest whisper of hope, peace, or recognition in your spirit, then this message was meant for you. Right now, place your hand over your heart and speak these words aloud. I am chosen by God. I am deeply loved. I am not forgotten. What is meant for me will find me. My blessings are on their way. My story is still being written by the hands of heaven. Say it again. And then say it one more time. Let every word sink into the places where disappointment once lived. Let it heal the wounds left by unanswered prayers, broken promises, and lonely nights. Let it remind you that God has never stopped watching over you, not for a single moment. The chapter you are living now is not the end of your story. The tears you've cried, the battles you've fought in silence, and the love you've carried in your heart have all been seen by heaven. Even when it felt like nothing was happening, God was working behind the scenes, preparing blessings you cannot yet see. So hold on a little longer, keep believing, keep trusting. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think. And if this message touched your soul, please share it with someone else. There is a person out there who is tired, discouraged, and wondering if anyone sees their pain. Your share could be the very sign they've been praying for. It could remind them that they are not alone and that God has not forgotten them either. And for those who feel led to support this mission of spreading hope, faith, and God's love, you can do so through a super thanks. Every gift, whether large or small, helps us continue reaching hearts that are searching for light in their darkest moments. May God bless every generous soul who gives. May He multiply your kindness, restore what you've lost, open doors no one can shut, and pour unexpected favor into your life. May your prayers be heard, your burdens be lifted, and your heart be filled with a peace that only heaven can provide. Thank you for being part of this faith-filled family. Together, we are reminding the world that no soul is forgotten, no prayer is ignored, and no life is beyond the reach of God's love. You are chosen. You are loved. And your miracle story is not over yet. There is a particular kind of strength that doesn't look like strength from the outside. It doesn't flex. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't raise its voice or make dramatic gestures or fill the room with its presence in ways that demand to be noticed. It simply holds quietly, steadily, without apology and without explanation. It holds its ground while everything around it shifts and pushes and tests its edges. And from the outside, to someone who doesn't understand what they're looking at, it can look like indifference, like coldness, like someone who simply doesn't care enough to reach, but that's not what it is. What it actually is, what you actually are, is someone who has finally, after everything, learned the difference between what they deserve and what they have been willing to settle for. And that distinction, that quiet but absolute refusal to collapse that line, is doing something to the person watching you from the other side of it that they were completely unprepared for. It is undoing them. This person has spent most of their relational life in a very specific position. The one with the power. The one who decides the pace, the tone, the temperature of the connection. The one who receives pursuit rather than offering it, who is chased rather than chasing, who waits to be reached rather than reaching. They have become so accustomed to that position that it stopped feeling like a dynamic and started feeling like the natural order of things, like simply the way relationships work for them specifically. And then you arrived, or rather, you stayed exactly where you were and refused to move toward them. And something in their internal architecture cracked. Because you didn't chase, you didn't soften your expectations to make room for their inconsistency. You didn't rationalize their mixed signals or make excuses for the moments when they showed up as less than what you needed. You simply held your standard quietly, without drama, without issuing ultimatums or making speeches, and waited to see if they were capable of meeting it. They are not used to being on this side of that equation. And the feeling it has produced in them is something they don't have a comfortable name for yet. Something that sits between admiration and desperation. Something that wakes them up at odd hours and follows them through ordinary moments and absolutely refuses to leave them alone. What they are feeling, stripped of all its complexity, is the particular anguish of almost having you, almost being enough, almost, but not quite, meeting the standards that you have set so clearly and so consistently that there is no room to pretend it isn't there. And rather than walking away from that feeling, rather than finding someone easier, someone whose standards bend more readily, they are leaning into it, pushing toward it, doing things they have genuinely never done before in any relationship that came before you. that is worth pausing on, because it is not nothing. When someone who has always been comfortable being the one pursued becomes the one pursuing, when someone who has always held all the power finds themselves in a position where they feel it slipping, that is a profound internal shift. That is not performance. That is not strategy. That is someone being genuinely moved by another person in a way that bypasses every defense they thought they had. You did that simply by being exactly who you are and refusing to be anything less. But here is where the story gets more complicated and more honest. You are in the middle of something right now. Your own something. A reorganization, internal, external, or both, that has been asking a significant portion of your attention and energy. There is a sense of things being in motion in your own life, of structures being dismantled and rebuilt, of a version of yourself that is still taking shape. And mixed into all of that is a recent loss of some kind. Something that didn't work out the way you hoped. Something that left a residue of disappointment that you are still quietly working your way through. You might be feeling a little lost. Not dramatically, not in a way that stops you functioning, but in that subtle way where you reach for a sense of certainty and find it slightly out of reach. Where you look at your life and feel the gap between where you are and where you thought you'd be by now. And here, right here, is the insight that I think changes everything when you finally let it settle. That feeling of loss is not a sign that you chose wrong. It is a sign that you are being redirected. What fell away was not your destination. It was a detour that ended when it was supposed to end. And the disorientation you feel right now, the slightly unmoored quality of this particular season, is not evidence that you are failing. It is evidence that you are between chapters, that the old one has closed and the new one hasn't yet shown you its first line, but it is coming. The beginning is closer than it feels. And what is beginning, what is genuinely, specifically beginning, is a love that is structured differently than anything you have experienced before. Not differently in a vague, hopeful sense. Differently in a very concrete, almost architectural sense. The foundation of this connection requires something specific from this person, something that does not come naturally to them and that they have never been asked to sustain before. They must be the one who gives. Not occasionally, not when it's convenient or when the mood strikes. Consistently, intentionally, as the primary posture of how they show up in this connection. This is not about power or punishment or making someone earn what should be freely given. It is about something more fundamental than that. It is about the fact that within this specific dynamic, the balance of giving is what keeps everything in its right place. When you overgive, when you pour yourself toward them with the same energy you are capable of, something in the connection goes sideways. The purpose gets confused. The roles blur, and both of you end up slightly off-center in ways that neither of you can immediately explain. But when you allow them to give, when you receive what they offer without immediately trying to match it or exceed it or give it back, something in them comes alive. Some clicks into place. Loving you, showing up for you, providing for you in whatever form that takes. It gives this person a sense of direction they have genuinely struggled to find anywhere else. Loving you gives them purpose. I want you to really sit with that, because it is one of the most significant things in this entire story. Not just that they love you, not just that they want you, but that the act of loving you well, of rising to meet your standard, of becoming the version of themselves that deserves your presence, is the thing that makes their life feel like it means something. That is not a burden you are placing on them. That is not an unfair expectation. That is a gift. Because most people move through their entire lives without ever finding the thing that calls out the best of what they are. Most people never encounter the relationship that makes them want to be more than they've previously been willing to be. You are that for this person. And they are only beginning to understand the full weight of that. Now, there is something coming. A message, an explanation. Words that this person has been carrying and has not yet found the right moment to deliver. Not because they don't know what they want to say, but because saying it requires a level of vulnerability that is deeply uncomfortable for someone who has spent years being the one in control. They are going to have to hand something over to you. And part of them is terrified of what happens when they do. Because handing it over means admitting how much this matters. It means stepping down from the position of power they have held so carefully for so long and standing in front of you without the armor of indifference or the shield of control. It means being, perhaps for the first time in a very long time, genuinely exposed. When that moment comes, and it is coming, you will not need to analyze it or second guess it or wonder if it means what it seems to mean. You will simply feel the shift if in the air. The quality of it will be different from anything they have offered before. More real, more careful, more honest. And what you do with that moment is entirely, completely yours to decide. But here is what I need you to hold on through all of this, through the uncertainty of your current season and the complexity of this connection and the quiet work of becoming who you are still becoming. You are not required to make yourself smaller to make this easier for them. You are not required to lower the bar because meeting it is challenging. You are not required to reach towards someone who has not yet demonstrated they are willing to reach back with equal sincerity. Your standards are not the problem. They never were. They are, in fact, the very thing that is creating the conditions for something real to become possible. Because here's what is true about standards that come from self-knowledge rather than fear. They don't push the right people away. They filter. They create a threshold that only someone genuinely willing to show up can cross. And someone who crosses it not because you made it easy, but because they chose to rise. That is someone who has already proven something essential about their character. You are in preparation right now. That is the most honest way to describe where you are. Not stuck, not failing, not lost beyond recovery, preparing for the love that is actually built for you, for the purpose that is quietly assembling itself around choices you are making, for the version of your life that begins when this season of reorganization completes itself. The loss you are carrying will lighten. The uncertainty will resolve. The person who is doing unprecedented things to reach you will eventually have to face the moment of truth. The moment where they either rise to become what this connection requires, or they don't. And you, with your quiet strength and your unmoving standards and your absolute refusal to pretend that less than what you deserve is somehow enough, you will know exactly what to do when that moment arrives. You always have. You just needed to remember it. If these words stirred something deep inside your heart, if you felt even the slightest whisper of hope in peace or recognition in your spirit, then this message was meant for you. Right now, place your hand over your heart and speak these words aloud. I am chosen by God. I am deeply loved. I am not forgotten. What is meant for me will find me. My blessings are on their way. My story is still being written by the hands of heaven. Say it again, and then say it one more time. Let every word sink into the places where disappointment once lived. Let it heal the wounds left by unanswered prayers, broken promises, and lonely nights. Let it remind you that God has never stopped watching over you. Not for a single moment. The chapter you are living now is not the end of your story. The tears you've cried, the battles you've fought in silence, and the love you've carried in your heart have all been seen by heaven. Even when it felt like nothing was happening, God was working behind the scenes, preparing blessings you cannot yet see. So hold on a little longer. Keep believing, keep trusting. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think. And if this message touched your soul, please share it with someone else. There is a person out there who is tired, discouraged, and wondering if anyone sees their pain. Your share could be the very sign they've been praying for. It could remind them that they are not alone and that God has not forgotten them either. And for those who feel led to support this mission of spreading hope, faith, and God's love, you can do so through a super thanks. Every gift, whether large or small, helps us continue reaching hearts that are searching for light in their darkest moments. May God bless every generous soul who gives. May He multiply your kindness, restore what you've lost, open doors no one can shut, and pour unexpected favor into your life. May your prayers be heard, your burdens be lifted, and your heart be filled with a peace that only heaven can provide. Thank you for being part of this faith-filled family. Together, we are reminding the world that no soul is forgotten, no prayer is ignored, and no life is beyond the reach of God's love. You are chosen, you are loved, and your miracle story is not over yet.